Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. So today I want to talk to you about the art of managing your state, a phrase that my children are not necessarily a fan of, but they learned it anyway. What does managing your state mean? Well, it means that many components make up our state. It's our words, our emotions, if you will, permeate from us, so the energy we're putting off. It's how you're conducting yourself physiologically. How are you moving? Are you moving fast? Are you moving slow? Are you in an angry state? All of these different components kind of come up. How your tone is showing up out of your when you're speaking. Are you listening, or are you just like not listening at all? You're just like, I'm going to ignore this whole entire thing. Your state is everything about you. So we'll often say that, the only thing that we can control is ourself. That's it. There's nothing else that we can control, but we can control ourselves. And that is one of the hardest things to do, is to control yourself. But I like to refer to this as managing your state, because it really is true. You are the manager here. Nobody else can get in and do it for you. Even if you think people can, they're forcing you to do it, but eventually you are the one that surrenders, or you are the one who fights back. So state management is the key to you going out in the world and successfully navigating during the day and not having other people push your buttons. Because if you're managing your state, you should be able to go out and fulfill what you have intended to fulfill during the day. Now, a part of this I refer to as sensory acuity. So sensory acuity means I'm using all of my senses to bring information to me, not just one of my senses to bring information to me. And this is important because all of our senses are meant to be used like this. So you have to rely on not just sight, but you have to rely on your sound, you have to rely on your smell, you have to rely on touch, feeling. You have to give yourself the scope of all of it. So like right now, I can tell you there is a big amount of energy coming from the chicken coop, as you can all hear. And I could sit here and I could ignore it, but I'm going to use it as part of this because it just amped up, and it's all about state management. This is all going on because, again, someone is in a box and someone wants to get in that box to lay an egg. What's funny is, as you heard me say before, there are 8 boxes. So one of my Spanish hens wants to get into a box and someone's in there. And now she's getting everybody riled up about the fact that that box is being used. Others don't even want to use that box, but she's stirring the pot. And she is not managing her own state. She's angry because someone's in that box, and she's in the face. And now all of a sudden she's putting off that energy. All these other hens that are responding are not even in the coop. They're outside of it. And this is such a great metaphor, and it just happened to fall into my lap right this moment, because this is what people do. They get riled up about things that aren't even, concerning them in the moment. Why do these other chickens getting all riled up? Because of her energy, and she's not managing her state. She could easily choose another box. All the other boxes are open except the one that she wants, and she will not go to one of the other 7 boxes. So is that reasonable? Well, in chicken world, this happens all the time. But in human world, we have to ask ourselves, is this reasonable? No, it's not. There's a very easy way around this. If she was managing her state, she could pick a different box. But she is not managing her state. She's going to be in that other chicken's face until that chicken decides to leave, and then she can have the box, which it sounds like that's what's happening right now. She screamed in her face until somebody else left, and then she could get in that box. So, and notice, when she quieted down, everybody quieted down. It's fascinating how this works, but energy is everything, and it permeates nature in every single way. So when we're talking about this, managing your state, you have to look at this and say, okay, what am I bringing to the table for myself? And am I using all of my senses to understand it? Not just my sound or my sight, but all of them. Am I taking it all in? Am I using everything so that I can really have an artful response to this, as opposed to just flying off the handle, living by whatever's going on around me and going from there? Because that's what's happened with the chickens. They just respond to whatever's going on around them, and they have no clue. They have no clue why they got upset. They just know they got upset. And then therefore they have to squawk and be part of it, but for no reason. And you don't want to be like that, because that's not being artful or thoughtful. All that's doing is living in response, which we've talked about before, as opposed, living in reaction rather than response. It's just going off in a different direction. So what's important right now is to remember, sensory acuity gives you the ability to add to this, okay, in multiple ways with all of your senses. And managing your state means you're choosing and you're thoughtfully coming up with how you want to show up, and not just living in reaction. So hopefully this helps you today, to some food for thought about yourself as you go off into the world. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Bye.